So tell me when it kicks in. Tell me when it kicks in. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Tell me when it kicks in.
Good afternoon. The Crucible Marathon can be a shattering experience for some, but for others, it's well worth the effort. Since the qualifying tournament got underway for this great championship on the 8th of April, nearly a month ago, 144 players have contested 142 matches. They played 2,305 frames, and just under 250,000 points have been scored. But for the next couple of days, 18 is the magic number, because that's what you need to win this trophy, and with it, the Betfred World title. Shaun Murphy, of course, has already done it a decade ago, but for 38-year-old Stuart Bingham, this is quite simply the greatest adventure of his life.
Well, Shaun Murphy, the man with the Rolls-Royce Q action, a different coloured suit for different matches. You never know what colour he's going to come out with next, but one thing is for sure, you know what you can expect. Long potting at its best, break building of the highest quality. He's been here, he's seen it, he's done it, he's worn the T-shirt, of course. He's been a past champion. He's going to be very hard to stop.
Stuart Bingham has had a much tougher route to the final. He's played almost 7 hours more snooker than Shaun Murphy. He's beaten 2 past winners, a past runner-up. He's been the underdog in the last 2 matches. Can he do it again in the final?
I appreciate what it's like to lose and come so close. So when I do taste that sweet taste of victory, it means a lot more. Didn't mean much to me at 22 or a young kid. So to win this championship again would be the biggest moment of my life.
We're both there on merit. We both beat everyone else. The way Shaun's playing, he's very confident. World champion, obviously a runner-up as well, and hopefully a 2-time runner-up.
In the last 18 months, I've spent going for my shots. And, you know, I've picked up a few European Tour events because of it, the World Open, made 3 maximums, and the Masters in January. I've realised finally that that's how I should be playing the game. I should be going for my shots. I'm not a master tactician. I'm not a great strategist. I should be doing what I know how to do, which is pot those long balls and give myself a chance.
My strength is my break building. Obviously my safety the last sort of 2 or 3 years has come on. Shaun's going to be, it's going to be very tough. He's a great bloke. He's maybe one of the best friends on tour. It's nice to actually sort of play a friend in the final, really.
There's a good mate of mine, you know, off the table. I'm really chuffed for what he's achieved. I know as a snooker fan myself, but he's potentially a bigger snooker fan. It will mean so much to him. What he's achieved this week will be so big in his life. I know how much he's wanted it all his career. And really, if I wasn't in the final, I'd probably want him to win.
It's just the 22 years of, say, blood, sweat and tears. Just all them years, my mum and dad, say my wife, my kids. It's just, it means so much. Well done.
Winning this tournament, again, would, for me, be the biggest moment of my snooker life. A journey I've been on since I was 8 years of age, some 24 years ago.
It would be an unbelievable feeling to pick that trophy up, seeing all the other people pick that trophy up before. It mean everything.
Wow, what an emotional journey. We've got two great guys in Steve Davis and Dennis Taylor for the part of this afternoon. Gentlemen, can you sum up the scale of Stuart Bingham's achievement in reaching this final and indeed the way he crossed the line in that semi-final last night?
It was absolutely incredible. That was one of the best matches I've ever commentated on. And Judd Trump produced his best snooker at the end of the match. Stuart took it all, and he took it all with a smile on his face. Even coming out for the last frame, I was sitting looking at him in the seat, detected a little smile. He enjoyed every minute of it, and to win that last frame the way he did was quite incredible. But what a semi-final that was.
It was extraordinary, but today is another day, Stephen. The top priority for Stuart Bingham has to be what in this opening session?
Well, obviously to shake off the excitement and the emotion, but that's the same for both players. Possibly he's had less sleep than Sean. He had a hard match last night. Sean's had the afternoon to finish. He didn't really play too much yesterday, quite a chilled out night. But I think from Sean's perspective, he's got to come out of the blocks thinking that it's an equal match. And I think he will do, because Stuart Bingham, even though he's been the underdog for the 3 matches against Ronnie O'Sullivan, Judd Trump, and now in this match, I don't think he's the underdog in his play. So therefore, anybody that thinks that it's going to be Shaun Murphy easily is I think, going to be mistaken.
It's a very interesting point, because I know that a lot of people make Shaun Murphy the odds-on favourite in this one. He's going to take some stopping. Have you ever seen him play better than this fortnight?
I think when he won it 10 years ago, he produced some unbelievable snooker. He's back playing like that. He's probably a better player now. And I mean, he's had 11 century breaks, which is quite incredible. And Sean's a great model professional, and he wants to lift that title. And he's been queuing beautifully. And Stuart's got to get off to a good start. But he was in practicing at 10 to 10 last night, Sean. I seen him in the practice room. So he's up for it. I hope Stuart gets off to a good start. And I just hope we have as good a final as that semi-final was.
Here, here, we all second that. Well, it's the 16th day here in Sheffield, and it is always such a thrill to get the final underway. And there's only one man for that job. It's MC Rob Walker.
Thanks, Hazel. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is it. It's the big one. Welcome to the final of the Betfred World Snooker Championship. It's been a sensational fortnight, and it's now time for another chapter of snooker history to be written here in this famous old arena. So without any further ado, let's get the boys on the bays. Please welcome a player who for 2 decades has dared to dream this day would come, and here he is at last in the sport's ultimate final. It has been an emotional roller coaster for one of the nicest men in snooker. Tears after he beat O'Sullivan, disbelief late last night after that extraordinary win over Trump. This, without doubt, is the biggest match of his life. So come on, Sheffield, raise the roof for Stuart Ball Run Bingham. His opponent, the ultimate class act on and off the bays. He's been brilliant here in Sheffield. There's no doubt he's in the form of his life. A decade on from winning the title, he's back in the big time and back at the top. And he knows to win again this year would mean so much more. He's en route to becoming one of the game's greats. So come on, raise the roof for Shaun the Magician Murphy.
What an ovation for both men. We have 4 sessions stretching before us over the next 2 days in a best of 35 frames final. Steve Davis, Dennis Taylor both know exactly what it takes to prevail on these occasions. You are in good hands this afternoon.
Well, thank you, Hazel. The traditional handshake with the trophy, lots of photographers, pictures that'll be going around the world. Stuart Bingham, well, he's been smiling all this year as well. And there's Michelle up there, his wife, and that's his son, Cher.
These two are as popular as the royal baby.
Nice one, Steve.
All right.
I think we're ready to go.
Thank you. The first frame. Stuart Bingham to break.
And Stuart gets this first frame of the match underway, and the type of ball that Shaun Murphy has been knocking in throughout the last 16 days. He really has potted some unbelievable balls. That's the tournament pot success rate at 90%. He couldn't do much with that there. But always nice to knock a long one in, Steve, just to get going.
Certainly is.
8.
He's an immense talent. Arguably the greatest cue action we've ever seen. Try to get as close to that brown as possible. Stuart Bingham touches the table in appreciation, because I think he has given him a safety problem.
Not a lot for Stuart to go at there. That's the virtual view. But what a big day for our referee as well. His first World Championship final, Olivier Martil. That's the man from Belgium. That's absolutely delighted to be doing the final. Not the best from Stuart there.
Misjudged that by quite a way. Cushion covers were changed between the semi-finals and the final. The bed of the cloth, the bed not changed, perhaps slight different reaction of the cushions. This time, Shaun Murphy is able to leave himself an angle on the black.
8.
Well, that's Sean's mum, Jean, there, and the sister, Jane. And Elaine was there.
9.
On the right, that's Sean's fiancée. And they must all be very proud. It's great when your family's here and in the balcony. They get more nervous than you do when you're out there.
I imagine he can pop this red into the left corner without disturbing the black, but on the other hand, if he thinks he will cannon the black, he won't be taking it.
$17.
And Stuart's family, his parents are there, Eddie and Maureen. They'll be very proud. That's Eddie on the right there. Big day for them, it really is. And that's Shay,
22.
his son, and Michelle, his wife. So it's great family day
23.
here at the final of the Betfred World Championship. Meanwhile, Sean Murphy has got quite a good chance here. Already got a nice lead.
30. $31.
I mean, that's a delightful little screw back there. He
38.
really has complete control of the cue ball, and he has throughout the whole championship. We mentioned the top of the show, he's made 11 century breaks.
$39.
You've got to say, Dennis, he's come out of the blocks like he's played the whole tournament, like he's got a force field
46.
around him. Nothing can touch him. The confidence is just massive.
47.
Yeah, watch that head. He doesn't move his head. So still on the shot. Wobbled the black a bit there, but well on the way to taking this opening frame.
54. $55.
Well, all down the years, the great players, like the gentleman sitting next to me throughout
60.
the 80s and Stephen Hendry throughout the 90s, somehow seem to be able to get out of the blocks very quickly, and the number of times they used to start with a century break was quite remarkable. And Sean, the former world champions, off to a flying start here, and look at that magnificent scene there as we come in on Sean Murphy. Every player's dream to play here in the final of a world championship.
$61.
Not ideally placed on the black. He's already run the frame, so it takes the
68.
heat out of this pot.
Well, no century break, but
Sean Murphy, 68.
he's done more than enough to take the opening frame, you'd have to say. Stuart just coming to the table. He'll want to knock, well, if he could knock 4 reds, 4 blacks in, as we show you the miss on the far jaw there.
Yeah, it's not inconceivable that now that this has happened.
1. Thank you.
He'd like to be able to pot another 3 reds and then play a snooker, a really good snooker, that could possibly leave a free ball.
Well, if he cannoned that when he potted the black, he would certainly open them up, and he could go on to take the reds and blacks and then start looking for the snookers that he needs. I think that's on. Well, that's even better. The red in the middle goes into the left corner, so he didn't have to risk a cannon.
8.
Plenty of room, as you can see.
9.
Overhit that. Trying to guarantee he got on the black, but not so easy now. Good strike, but no man's land.
16.
Unless it's a plant. Stuart just having a quick look.
Stuart Bingham, 16.
This is a pretty good shot here. He's got him snookered.
Foul. Sean Murphy, 6.
Wow. He thought he could see an edge, but it obviously was very tight. Might stay in his seat after the next shot. Well, Sean might clear up, so he'll have to stay in his seat. No, still coming back to the table, just wanting to get used to the conditions, as Steve said, a new cloth. Wouldn't be a bad idea, Steve, just to clear them up here.
Well, 50 points behind with 1 red left is at the upper end of the spectrum for possibly stealing a frame. It does become more of an issue of getting a free ball after a foul from your opponent.
Thanks. 8. Nine.
Well, we'll know with the next shot whether he's going to try for the snookers that's required. Now that tells me he's just going to try and clear them up, I would think. I mean, he could try and get the snooker in behind the black, but
16.
and he is, but he needs lots of them. Needs 4 4-point
16.
snookers at the moment. Well, that's one way of getting
Stuart Bingham,
4 points. only just see the edge of it, but I mean, if you tried to go in off that, it would be quite a good shot. He looks pretty fresh, does Stuart, after his semi-final match.
Quick chat with him in the practice room. He said he managed to get 4 hours sleep. Nice shot. And that 4 hours sleep, Dennis, he said, was more than he got the night before the match against Judd Trump.
It's just adrenaline, doesn't it? Keeps you going. You're never going to get your 7 or 8 hours sleep when you're involved at this stage of the World Championship.
Well,
Foul.
another one goes astray.
Stuart Bingham 4.
42 points, the difference now. And that is in the 1 free ball and you can win it range. Pretty big bounce off a cushion there. Yeah, picking up on Stephen Hendry's point yesterday about, you know, not blaming tiredness or anything like that. I think the players are able to cope with the adrenaline flowing. It's whether you have a reaction to a match emotionally that can tire you, not physically.
Well, there's a great shot. You have him trying to bend it around the green to hit the cushion. And there's that little smile. He's loving every minute of this, is Stuart Bingham.
There's only one snooker player in the whole world wouldn't want to swap places with him. And that's the guy who's just hit this shot not enough. Not enough.
Wasn't far away. Mentioned there about Stuart smiling throughout the semi-final and final. Maybe that's the way to go. Anthony McGill smiled as well through this year's World Championship, and didn't the public take to him? At the moment, we've got both players playing snookers. I honestly thought that Stuart was going to concede when he needed the 4 snookers, but he'd got other ideas. Still needs 2. Make that 3.
Foul. Sean Murphy 4.
And this is not an easy pot to finish the opening frame off.
Should be able to get the red to hit both jaws, and he's playing out up and down the table. Far better shot.
I think someone thought he missed the pot. Lost their concentration briefly in the audience there. That big groan when he missed potting the red, which he wasn't trying to. Look at this for a trick shot. Oh, I thought he was going to go off the pink there. Well, he might be in behind the pink now.
Pink's been promoted to a very nice position for snookers. Stewart could wobble the red in the jaws of the green pocket here. And that, Dennis, is a very difficult shot to get out of. This could go horribly wrong, and there's free ball opportunities as well. Orange alert for Sean Murphy. Here.
Yeah, because if he doesn't make contact with the red, as you said, almost certain to leave a free ball.
I think across the table, try and come just past the yellow, but slow, stops the free ball, should he miss it.
He needs to hit it though, because he'll be snookered. If he doesn't, then he's hit it. Well done, good escape.
In behind the yellow is Stewart's plan.
Can he see enough of the side cushion? I think he's so close to the yellow, he might not be able to see the side cushion this side of the left middle pocket.
Oh. Well, the anomaly of the foul and miss rule, there is the effective way of missing this and leaving the cue ball on the top cushion. Wouldn't be called a miss because you can't award a miss in a situation where players need snookers unless the referee considers you have done it deliberately, or more than deliberately. So misses can be called in situations like this by the referee.
I think he's so close to the yellow, he'd have to go somewhere around that sort of angle to get to the red, and how difficult will that be? But that's the only way I could see. He seems to be aiming towards the line, but that's what he'd have to do.
Foul.
Oh, foul.
Good Bingham 4.
The ref has to call the miss.
It's not a free ball. It's no, it's not a miss, but it's not a free ball. Amazing.
It's not a miss.
No, it's not a miss, and it's not a free ball.
So he actually hit the red.
No, but because Stewart needed snookers.
Of course.
Yeah.
Sorry,
and also he was close enough that it was a genuine attempt. And the cue ball is so close to the red that whilst he can't hit both sides of it, he can effectively, whichever direction he goes in, he can contact both sides of what he can see. The anomalies of the free ball rule. He'll be delighted with that escape. Sean Murphy got out of trouble.
Yeah, what I was going to say, if it hadn't been at the snookers required stage, the referee would have had to call the miss, and he was in such a difficult situation. It was a great attempt, but that's the rule. I think he needs the extended rest there. Olivia Martil just getting it out for him. Full length of the table almost here.
Stuart Bingham would have been delighted with that snooker behind the yellow and would have expected far more than he's got.
Thank you.
Well, this frame's been going now, coming up to 23 minutes. It looked like it was going to be over in a matter of about 7 or 8 minutes. With Sean making that 68 break.
you, Sean.
Crisis may have been averted for Sean Murphy here, but Stuart Bingham's still going to not going to make it easy for him. It was a great shot.
Yeah, I mentioned Sean making a break of 68, and well, the red that he missed in the middle pocket. If he knocks this in, there's every chance we could have been in the third frame already. Certainly well into the second frame.
Needs a bit of luck here, Stuart.
Right, this should be the end of frame now, but there's been that many safety shots played. He'll be out of stroke slightly, but this will finish the opening frame.
One.
It was always going to be a tall order for Stuart Bingham, needing 4 snookers, but he got down to just needing 2.
5. Thank you.
But at least he's had plenty of table time in this opening frame.
Eight.
Don't
12.
expect there to be too many long frames in this final. They're both very attacking players.
$70.
Delicate, delicate. Oh, just seemed to come away a little bit from the
Sean
cushion.
Murphy, 17,
But that doesn't
in the
matter.
front
It was the earlier break of 68 that paved the way for Sean Murphy to take the opening frame, and he leads 1-0.
And we have a world champion out there in Sean Murphy, and 2 more in here, and Ken and Stephen. World champions everywhere you look. What value is experience out there, particularly for Sean today?
It's certainly a little bit of an advantage having been there and done it before. You see all the entries into the arena at the beginning, all the atmosphere and everything. Stuart's got his family here, and he has to quickly get that out of his mind that it's sort of an occasion. You know, he's here to work. He's here to win the World Championship.
Does it take a long time? How long would you say does it take you to settle down there? And in that case, how important was the fact that Stuart got up there and actually played on for a bit?
Yeah, well, I think if it was another frame and another match maybe, or if it's more into the final, he would have just probably given up there after a few attempts of getting snookers. But he wanted to feel the table because of the new cushion cloth on the table and how it's going to react, and just get a bit more table time just to settle in.
Cushion covers,
Cushion covers, as Steve Davis calls them, yeah, whatever they are. But I think it was more important for Stuart Bingham to get a few more shots there, settle in. He's not used to this, you know. He had value experience from the semi-final, but Sean is well used to this, and that's why it was important. But from Sean's point of view, when he gets a chance, he has to kill the frame as quickly as possible and not give his opponent too much table time.
And in that regard, important for Stuart to hang in there and send a message. He's not going to win this easily.
Absolutely.
Eight frames to be played in this first session.
Foul.
That's not bad. He'd rather the white go in the pocket than wobble in the jaws and stay up around the reds and black. It's cost him 4 points, but there's no easy starter here for Sean Murphy. But immediately it looks as if he wants to take this on. He's got to get it, because if he doesn't, he'll be leaving Stewart in. And now that, he just seemed to get down and, well, try and just knock that in as if it was over the pocket, but that was very difficult. Okay, if it's a sort of shot to nothing, but look what he's left.
One.
An early chance for Stewart then, so that in off. Believe it or not, that foul shot has given him this chance, because Sean took the difficult red on. Last night along this back cushion here, he played a plant. He played, well, I think it was 4 plants in the last 4 or 5 frames, but the one he played that gave him the match was quite something, because he did go on to clinch that final frame.
Nine. $16.
Not great.
$17.
That's the outcome. Didn't really get that cue ball round the table far enough off the black. Left himself too straight on the red. Bit too much to do there. Arguably should have made sure he was at least on the black. But he got too much run on the cue ball. Both these players very aggressive. They really don't want to be playing safe when there's balls available. But I think in this instance, safety is the order of the day.
Bramble. Stuart Bingham, 17.
Not easy here, as referee Olivia Martel has a look. And this was him coming out to do his first ever world final, and that was a gesture. Both his grandparents passed away recently, and he's a lovely gentleman. And he's also got his wife here. His wife's called Anne and his daughter's Manon, so they must be very proud. And they're in the crowd there. What a special day for them as well. I mean, that is a fabulous pot. Right on the black, and have a look. If he had a missed, he was leaving reds to the right middle pocket, but he's so confident in his game at the moment, Sean. I think he's going to go all out attack here. And that's the way he played when he won this great championship 10 years ago. Because Matthew Stevens, well, he was odds-on favourite the way the match developed, but Sean,
8.
at the end of that match, was awesome.
Nine.
Just love that shot as the camera zooms in on the table from the back of the crucible.
15.
Yeah, that camera's called the Jimmy Jib. I like that name.
Also,
16.
gives you more of a perspective of the size of a snooker table. On our TV screens, the table is foreshortened. So sometimes you don't realise how difficult the long pots actually are.
Yeah, when people come to the Crucible Theatre for the first time and they see the table, they're surprised how big it is, 12 foot by 6 foot.
I must admit, Dennis, when we first started playing, you play with a shade over the table. It seems to sort of enclose the area. The first time you play on the TV lights, it seems like the table's a football field.
$23.
He's off and running again. Sean Murphy
29.
stroking the ball beautifully.
$30.
Very good to watch the way he plays the game.
Nothing like stamping
36.
your authority on the match early, laying down the gauntlet here to Stuart Bingham. Who's already on the back
37.
foot in this session, especially if Sean Murphy can convert this chance.
When he pots this next red, he's freeing
44.
a red to the opposite corner. He just needs another 21 points to leave Stuart needing a snooker.
45.
I remember going down to Peterborough just a couple of years before I retired from competitive snooker and had a couple of days practicing with Sean just when he turned professional, and I thought, well, what a cue action. He's been a model professional. He came through the School of Excellence. He's very proud to be a professional
51.
snooker player, and he conducts himself very professionally.
52.
Made a 68 break in the opening frame, and he's well on his way here to clinching this second frame. Red and a black or pink would be enough.
58. $59.
Once again, he always seems to
Sean
miss
Murphy, 59.
an easy ball when he's just about to clinch the frame. That was a careless miss there. And that was the frame ball. I mean, it's amazing the number of times he tends to do that. He looks like he's not going to miss a thing, and all of a sudden he misses a sitter. I don't know if that kicked or what it did, but it was frame ball. He stayed down on the shot a long time after it.
Got a bit of a problem here. Yes, you can see the red. Could be tough to get back down the table. Stuart Bingham was eyeing up the red along the top cushion into the right-hand corner pocket. It's not ideal, but he may think it's the best chance he's going to get. Could have contained the situation. Chose not to. It's given Sean Murphy a sniff at this red with an element of safety, I suppose, as well. But he's not having any. I think he's going to play safe, is he?
Thank you.
Perhaps that's what Stuart Bingham should have done.
I think there's a gap through to the red that's near the blue spot there. You see it. You could win with 3 high-valued colours. The blue or above would be enough. If you could get the 3 red somehow.
Ideally, Stuart Bingham doesn't want to totally commit until the balls are all in a lot nicer positions than they are now from a point of view of clearing the table in one go. Sean Murphy's job to just contain the situation.
Now he might be able to bend this around the pink and maybe put that red off the cushion, or he could play a cannon off the red that's near the left cushion. Or can he hit the one? Don't know if he can get through to the one to the left of the brown to plant it on.
I don't know where it came from.
Yeah, he can get that and plant it onto the one over the pocket. Or he could try. Had to hit it full on. Misjudged it.
One.
Well, the chance is there for Stewart now. Looks as if the blue will pass the yellow. And what a steal this would be, because Sean Murphy missed a sitter of a black that was game ball. And if you can make your opponent pay for such an easy miss. Oh, look at that. Amazing.
Sure.
That wasn't
6.
a perfect hit, but importantly it went in.
He had caught the left jaw, but he's okay here. He can play for blue or pink. And there's enough points on the table for him.
Well, this is a marvellous opportunity now. The ball's all in the open. Sean Murphy sitting there, perhaps kicking himself. Cue ball, he's just
7.
run away a bit down the table. Still controllable. Not ideal. But he should be able to get a good crack at the red.
$13. $14.
It's so important to get off to a good start, and as I say, what a frame this would be to steal. In the semi-final, Barry Hawkins lost the second frame to Sean Murphy after being 63 in front, and that was an early turning point in that semi-final. It's not a straightforward run to the winning line here.
20.
Well, knowing what happened in the match with Barry Hawkins, Dennis, you could certainly make the case that this is a massive clearance coming up. Especially as he's been on the back foot so far in this session.
22.
Well, he would have been sitting in his seat and he would have thought that he'd lost the second frame. There's no doubt about that. He wasn't expecting Sean to break down. But Sean knows only too well that you've still got to knock them in, but the chance is certainly there for Stewart.
$25.
That's not great. Or can he just about reach it? Wanted to be further over into the middle of the table. Sean earlier would have been thinking perhaps pink to black is the only stumbling point. Important that he can reach with the extension on his cue here. Long bridging, bit off balance.
29.
So Dennis, the all-important position from blue to pink.
Absolutely, Steve. He's got to get on the pink in such a way that he can get closer to the black. Needs to keep going. He's going to come up a long way short here. He might have to go for the middle pocket now. Oh, that was the key shot, as you said, Steve.
Well, he quit on that. Do you know, and actually, even though that's a shot that he always plays, I think perhaps up and down the other side may have been better in that instance.
Boy, this is tough. It's tough. It's not a gimme.
Bingham, 34.
That's for sure. He did get round on the black. It was going to be a tricky little cut back into a blind pocket for the black, but this is tougher than the black would have been. Oh, it wobbled but went in. What a shot from Sean Murphy. That was far from easy. Stewart had his chance. He just didn't get on the pink. Sean Murphy, he'll be relieved, and he leads 2-0.
He certainly will be relieved, Dennis, to be 2-0 ahead. The road to the final for these two boys is very interesting as well. If we go on to the head-to-head stats, you'll see that Sean Murphy leads 5-2 against Stuart Bingham in that. Frames won 53. Well, you've got to win 53. You won't get to the final if you don't. Frames lost 37-25 for Sean. Total frames played 90 Stuart Bingham, only 78 Sean Murphy. That's the equivalent of playing an extra first round, really, like a 10-2 result. The centuries are 11-6, but this is the interesting one. Hours played 21:42, 28:31. Nearly 7 hours more play for Stuart Bingham. Will that have an effect later in the match? And one other thing, when Sean Murphy was in here practicing before, he's got a little bit of a shoulder injury. Don't know whether that's going to play any part in the rest of this match.
Thank you, John. Yes, that's interesting stuff there. And I think one of the key stats we've been talking about is the amount of hours and the amount of table time that Sean Murphy has played in relation to Stuart Bingham. Do you think it's going to make a lot of difference? I know you're not a great subscriber to this fatigue argument in snooker because you never really seemed to be fatigued when you came into the World
listen,
Championship.
everyone feels different. Everyone feels the effects of being tired different than others. The reason I say the World Championship is the biggest test for a snooker player is because you should be able to cope with these things.
OK, and Ken,
Yeah,
you were different.
He's played a lot more hours, Stuart Bingham, and he's cried a lot more hours as well on the way to the final. But no, I think it does. You know, he needs a frame now. You know, he's got plenty of table time. Sean has let him off the hook a little bit. Should have kept him in his seat. That's what we talked about in the first frame. Did it exactly there again. But Stuart needs a frame just to settle him in to this final.
Back we go, frame 3.
Yeah, there's the great John Pullman, who used to commentate for BBC many moons ago, 10 times world champion. He was the one that used to say, you never settle till you get the first frame on the board. And a pretty decent break-off shot. Well, he needed a thin one, but he didn't.
Foul and a miss.
Needed that
Stuart
thin.
Bingham 4.
Can Stuart get through to this red, or is the blue in the way? You'll have it replaced if the blue's covering it, and it must be. Yeah, there you clearly see it. This was Stuart when he was introduced to the crowd. Got a fabulous reception, waving to everyone, smiling. And that was him in his seat, looking for his family and waving up to the family, and smiles all around. But meanwhile, he's got to get that frame on the board to bring that smile back. Now he can.
According to hook, I am spot on. You want it a bit away?
He said, according to the virtual, that's where it was. And Sean said, well, the virtual's wrong. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's not going to make a great deal of difference. It looks pretty good. Well played. Now then, this is the type of shot Stuart Bingham has been knocking in. He's 2-0 behind. He could do with this just to get his confidence up and running. Close. Black tied up at the moment, but this next shot might release that.
Foul.
That's the second time we've seen an in off. The other one to the opposite corner, but this time there is a pot on for Sean. But he'll do well to find the gap. He'll be going close to the black and reds. Just so confident with that type of shot. He knew he was going to cannon into something, so he just thought, well, I'll pot the red and hope that I get through a gap. He managed to get back up with that little flick off the red. And one good positional shot here, and he could be back in around the black spot area. Bit close to the cushion though. That's not the best.
5.
I think the black goes between those two reds. It must be tight. He's coming around to have a look at that. Or maybe not. If he rolls the red in, then we know that the black goes into the right corner. And now that he's looking at this safety shot, there's nowhere that black pots. Yeah, that red that he just played was blocking the path for the black.
Sean Murphy 5.
Just 5 from that chance. He needs to get that white near the ball cushion. He may be thinking about taking this on, screwing across off the side cushion to leave the black for the same pocket. I think it is on for him. I'm sure the black goes. If he gets enough screw on it somewhere along that line, would leave him on the black. Well, the black obviously doesn't go. Well, what an ambitious shot that was, to try and leave the black for the right corner.
It's actually a very clever shot to nothing if he played it exactly like that. The cue ball's in a safe area. That is as advanced as it gets in opportunism there. Of course, the cue ball wouldn't necessarily have finished in that position. Oh, and Stewart picks out a very brave shot indeed. You've got to say, been a little unlucky in the outcome. Even the attempted cut on the blue has now been blocked by a red that finally rolled towards the blue. And now, well, it looks like just a safety shot, and desperately unlucky as he's trying to get back into this match.
Well, he's covered everything. Absolutely amazing.
That's a monstrous yellow to take on. That is enormous.
It was, as Steve said, an unbelievably
Bingham
difficult
one.
shot. Look what he's done now. Now, having said that, that red's got a bit closer to the red that I thought was going to be a sitter, but I think he can still cut it in.
Was that the time to play a safety shot? I mean, where would you play safe?
Yeah, he could have rolled the yellow and left the white on the baulk cushion, but he felt with the reds like that, and he'd opened them all up he was positive, and I thought if I can knock this yellow in, but he's 2-0 down, and they were tough, as Steve said, very tough. And how many is Sean Murphy going to score from this chance? He's made breaks of 68 in the opening frame and 59 in the second. Look at this for a chance.
6. 7.
Well, this is just like a practice session. But I wouldn't have thought Sean would have set the balls up as easily for a practice session as this. You'd be testing yourself more. So it's just a matter, in situations like this, of maintaining concentration, not assuming you're going to get good position just because the reds are everywhere. Trying to clear that red by the pink spot early.
12. 13.
Yeah, he picked a lovely plant out here, Stuart.
18.
There you can see the two reds, right through the reds, opened the reds all over the table. Looked like he was going to be on the black possibly, looked like he was going to be on the blue. And everything
Thank you.
just covered all the
90.
colours. It was only the difficult yellow to go at.
Hard to think this isn't going to be 3-0.
22.
And Stuart Bingham's going to be asked a very quick question in this final.
23.
Every match a different storyline. Doesn't matter how well you've played in previous matches. You've still got to prove yourself time and time again.
29. 30.
The way the balls were at the start of this, he would have had to have had a heavy contact or something, because he was never going
36.
to run out of position. It was virtually impossible the way they were sitting.
37. 43. 44.
He's just full of confidence, Sean Murphy, the way he's cued throughout this year's World Championship. I mentioned a couple of times 11 century breaks, you know, that's going some. And of course Stuart, who's knocked out the favourite Ronnie O'Sullivan and then knocked out
51.
the gentleman that was then made favourite, Judd Trump. But
52.
he's got a match in his hands now, the way Sean's queuing. He knew he had a match in his hands before it started, but well, wobbled that again as he got to game ball. So that second frame,
58.
Stuart didn't get on the pink. He's played a mini role in this final.
59.
There you see it, 1 green, 3 blues, 5 pinks and a black.
65.
Well, once again, no
Murphy,
century
65,
break, but
and the frame.
it's a great effort. Stewart took a very difficult yellow on, it didn't go in, and he had to sit in his seat and watch Sean Murphy take the frame, and he now leads 3 frames to 0.
And just a quick reminder that there's so much on the go here in Sheffield today that our Steve Davis is going to have to leave the commentary box very shortly because he's due on air on Radio 6 Music. He is co-presenting Jarvis Cocker's Sunday service, and that is the reason why he's wearing his Best Band t-shirt today. I know a few of you have been asking. Yes, he dressed especially for Jarvis's show today, and he's very much looking forward to it. John Parrott will seamlessly step into his stead in the commentary box. So worrying signs for Steve Davis of commitment levels anyway, but worrying signs too for Stuart Bingham.
Yeah, I felt that he needed to win this first session today to win this final. I think Sean Murphy is so great at playing the bully on the snooker table and steamrolling opponents, and Stuart cannot let him get a big lead.
So your assessment of what he needs to do now and what after this session?
I think he needs 5-3 up. I felt he had to win this first session. I thought it was so important.
Okay, now you detect sense. Clearly there are nerves out there.
Yeah, of course he's nervous, but he's been a little bit unlucky. I mean, he made a great plant there. Wasn't on the black, wasn't on the blue. Had to take on a difficult yellow. There wasn't really any room for safety. So sometimes things can go against you. But I'm with Stephen, not completely, because I don't always agree with him. But I will say, if he gets this frame on the board, he'll feel an awful lot better. As soon as he gets that first frame, he has to settle down very quickly, you know.
Okay, Mike, well, this is the last before their interval.
And as Sean Murphy breaks off, make no mistake about it, he'll want this 4th frame as well. You set your stall out to win 3-1 these little mini sessions, and if you can win all 4, that's a bonus. So Stuart got a lot to do here in this frame. Well, there's an interested spectator, Roy Keane, eh? Not a bad snooker player. I don't think he could beat Sir Alex, though. Could you? Tell us, Roy, could you beat him? No commitment. Great to see you here. Can't knock them all in, JP.
No, very close. Pretty good cueing again. Tight pockets, these.
I know he did beat Sir Alex at an evening charity auction. He paid £17,000 to charity for a Brian Robson montage. He outbid Sir Alex. I was there. It was fantastic. Bet he doesn't remember that.
Now, Stuart, time to score
11.
3-0 down in your first World Final. And a pretty good opportunity. Should have won the second frame. A great chance of a clearance, but wasn't to be, so just needs to get this one to settle down.
Yeah, we mentioned before he was desperately unlucky in that last frame when he pulled the plant off and never finished on a pot. But it's 4 sessions. There's a long way to go. But this is a very
90.
important frame for Stuart.
$20. $26. $27.
Yeah, big difference in the interval if Stuart can take this frame. Wouldn't like to be sitting there having a chat with your pals. 4-0 down. So if you can close the gap to just 2, all the better.
34. $35.
It did sounded like it had a kick there. That's why he's having the cue ball cleaned. He's just trying to bring a few more reds into play. Yeah, that red definitely jumped there. Let's have a look. Yeah, and the white jumped a little.
$42. $43.
Now a key shot coming up. Delightful. Absolutely played to perfection. Just that little flick left 2 reds on.
Yes, and if he wants to, the way he's finished low on this, he could pot this and bring another couple of reds out. Depends whether he plays the screw or the run through. No, just played the run through, didn't maybe flick the outside one into a slightly better position. Taking these very well so far.
Just needs another 18 points to leave Sean needing a snooker. Well, he didn't seem to get the side on that he needed. He's going to have to... Is he on the one at the back? I'm not sure.
58.
Yeah, it was a funny one, this, wasn't it? It was in between 2 reds. It was one of those shots that if you finish low there, you're on the bottom one, but you need a bit of side to throw out for the other.
That's tight. Can he just see enough of it? Maybe. Just
59.
Yeah, it came in off the jaw. Watch it, it just hits the bottom jaw. He actually overdid it, Dennis. He had a bit more room than he thought.
Well, both players are queuing extremely well. Sean with breaks of 68, 59 and 65.
66.
And now Stuart with this effort.
$67.
Nice. It's nice to win in one visit, isn't it, John? Especially if you're going to the mid-session interval.
Does wonders for your confidence, knowing that you're scoring as well as you can.
72.
It's been an excellent contribution.
Thank you. 73.
had 8 centuries in this year's Betfred World Championship.
80.
83 is the record.
81.
So Stuart's already had 6, so that
88.
record of 83 might possibly go.
I think
89.
it will, Dennis, the way these two players are hitting the ball, and they're both scorers. I do think that's going to get beaten. Beautiful stuff, this. Cue ball control, top class.
96.
Series of little screws and stuns. Cue ball's hardly moved in this break.
97.
Well played, Stuart Bingham. Turn up at the Crucible. That's brought a smile back to everyone's face.
Thank you. 105.
He wants to pot the lot here if he can. Unlucky. It didn't really matter. He needed a frame on the board, but didn't he do it in style? And he'll go off to the mid-session interval. Fairly pleased with that contribution, but Sean Murphy still leads 3 frames to 1.
Oh, and I just wonder how much relief that Stuart Bingham will be feeling at this present time, Ken.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, that's exactly what he needed. That's just what the doctor ordered. And, you know, he'll feel a lot better during his mid-session interval. He can relax a little bit. And you saw the smile on his face. You saw the little bit of relief. And contrary to what Stephen thinks, I think he's back in this match.
You know, we've been looking at some of the stats here. This is Stuart Bingham's 120th match of the season. He's played more than anyone else. He's won more than anyone else. He's won 85 so far. And I just wonder how symptomatic Stuart is of the revolution that's been taking place in snooker over the last few years.
Yeah, I think obviously we know there's so many more tournaments, and Stuart just loves playing snooker. And I think any tournament he'll turn up and play his local league, I think, if he had time. He's just a snooker fan. Yeah, and talking about other players, like Ding was saying to me, he felt he hadn't played enough snooker. He took a break from the PTCs in Europe. So, yeah, I think it's obviously the players that are playing a lot, they're just keeping themselves sharp.
The same was true a couple of years ago with Barry Hawkins. He played more matches than anyone else, won more matches, and he's been an ever-present in the semi-finals here ever since.
Yeah, there's a fine balance, isn't there, of overdoing it and not playing enough. You have to find that balance. You have to know when you're not sort of travelling too much, because if you travel to almost everything, you know, sometimes you can come to the World Championship and you can be overplayed in a little bit. We've seen a little bit of burnout with some players over the years. So I was trying to find that little balance, and certainly at the moment Stuart has it. But also Sean Murphy has played in a lot of tournaments as well. So it's also trying to find the confidence. Sometimes you go through a season where you've lost a few matches and you're not too confident. So you'll travel to more to try and get those wins under your belt to come into this championship with a few wins under your belt to feel a lot better.
It's interesting you mentioned Sean, because this is his 80th, and Sean was at the upper end of going and travelling everywhere, but he has cut back just a little bit and focused, targeted his play and his tournament play. Yeah,
I think I would go down that route as well. I think you can play too much, and also so many tournaments, it doesn't give you a lot of time to work on your game. I always played my best snooker when I had 2, 3, 4 weeks. Certainly for this one, solo practice. You don't get a chance to do that anymore because you come home and basically you're going away the next week. So obviously players that have got families as well, you haven't got time to really put the hours in.
Exactly, but it just shows you if you put the hard work in, there's certainly rewards to be had, and Stuart Bingham is reaping all of that hard work here as he gets into his first ever Crucible final. But you know, hundreds of thousands of shots have been played here in Sheffield since the 8th of April when the qualifying championship got underway for this great event. And I wonder which are the best of the lot. We've got a few suggestions for you.
attempted, pot it was, if he gets the angle on the pin to move the black into play, what a shot this would be. And he's got the angle absolutely perfect. He couldn't have played that better if he played it 100 times. Goodness. What a pot that is. And look at the way he played it. He's played down here with an element of safety, and if you missed it, what a pot that is.
We didn't spot it, and as you're right, said the key thing was, OK, potting it's good, but the path of the cue ball is unbelievable.
I mean, cueing off the cushion there is just tremendous.
Prediction, how many misses, how many points is he going to give away?
You watch angles here. He's going to nominate the green. You watch this shot. He's going to hit 1, 2, 3, 4 cushions. Count them as they go round. Here we go. There's 1, 2, 3. There's 4 cushions. Here comes angles. Here comes angles. I think we'll give him that title for another 20 years.
Nothing better than living up to your nickname. He's going to play the swerve around the green with a chance to pot this red, but he doesn't really want to hit it too hard just in case he misses and does some damage. Tough swerve. Oh.
Look at Jam. I mean, look at that. He's almost full ball. How did he get that action on it?
Oh, he played the old banana kiss on the black. Well, that'll do nicely. Get out of that. Well, if he goes for the pink, he's going to have to play a lot of pace to get the cue ball up and down the table back for the black. Oh, tremendous. Now, where's the cue ball going? Where's the cue ball going? On the black. It's on the black.
I think that's what you call an aggressive shot.
Going for this, maybe. What an aggressive shot that was. What an aggressive shot. Well, your man, you get what you deserve after playing a shot like that. Goodness me, how's he ended up there? What a shot that is. Cue power and the timing.
Well, I don't think there's ever been a player with that amount of cue power that I've ever seen, John.
We'll give that shot to the top 16. I'd like to see how many players ended up where he did. Can't go off the side cushion. Might have to be off 2 angles. Unless you can play the Massey. Here we go.
Didn't want to hit the pink though. I like it. Love that shot.
Well played. Very, very good shot. I'll bet you that's the first we've seen at this year's championship.
There's no easy path to that difficult red. If he pops the blue, the black slightly in the way. That's why, look at the way he's gone around the table because the black was in the way. Oh! This was an unbelievable shot here to swing the white round. But look what happens. He flicks the black and then gets the red out.
And you can vote for your favourite via the BBC Sport website, clicking on the shot of your choice. And you can tweet the hashtag of the shot you like best as well. For example, hashtag #ShotA to @BBC Snooker. You can find the terms and conditions at bbc.co.uk/snooker. The vote closes at 6 o'clock tomorrow and the result will be announced in tomorrow evening's programme and on the BBC Sport website. A fair number there from Judd Trump, gentlemen, and one or two from that fantastic Carter McManus match as well. Your favourite?
I'm just going to go against the grain completely with me. I'm going to pick Mark Davis's safety shot.
Oh, for
Can't believe I'm not going for a pot.
heaven's sake, no, exactly.
What things come to.
And for you?
I can't believe Judd Trump has only got 3 shots in there. But no, I mean, I think that shot on the blue to get the red out. I know he got a little bit of luck off the black. I also like Joe Perry's shot because, I mean, that was quite a pivotal part of the match where you had Zhang coming back, a bit of pressure on him, and he needed to pop blue, pink and black, and I thought the blue was a great shot. OK,
your opinions count, but it's the opinions of everyone at home that really matter, so get voting, please. All right. Now, there's lots of ifs, buts and maybes in this final, particularly when it comes to the overall look of the world rankings at the end of it. Now, this is the state of the top 16 right now, because Shaun Murphy's moved up to world number 5, and there is Stuart Bingham up from 10 to 6. Now, if either of them win, they will both move. Whoever wins, I should say, will go up to world number 2, and that would be a career high for both of them. Shaun has previously been at number 3, and Stuart Bingham as high as number 4 in the past. So whoever wins, it's a world title, and it's going to be a very significant moment as well. There's not a huge amount of change in there. How do you like the look of the world rankings at the moment, Ken?
Yeah, it's quite interesting, Ronnie O'Sullivan down to number 4. I mean, it's a big, you know, obviously these guys are concentrating on winning, you know, the championship. That's first and foremost in the mind. But to get up to number 2, you know, for Stuart Bingham or Shaun Murphy is a great achievement. Obviously, they'd be thinking about getting to number 1, but winning this championship is more important.
And Stephen, never have those rankings counted perhaps as much as they have coming into this World Championship.
Absolutely. I mean, you look at the bottom there, Mark Williams, John Higgins, Steve Maguire, 13, 14, 15. They've got to really have good seasons if they don't want to qualify for this next year.
And as we've seen, that qualifying procedure is pretty painful.
It is, yeah, and I know all about it. Particularly if you played a woman in the first round.
And she nearly
beat me.
Exactly, yeah.
That was pressure.
Yeah, well played to Rhiannon Evans, absolutely. OK, well, it's a very big day for the Bingham family, and they're here en masse. In fact, I know that John Parrott has managed to find Stuart's nearest and dearest.
I certainly have, Hazel, and to be honest with you, friends and relatives, I don't know how you watch it. Are you coping all right?
Yeah, just about. Bag of nerves yesterday, but yeah, not too bad today.
Now, I've been seeing you in the hotel as he's been progressing through the tournament. You've been here for that, and you've been sleeping all right.
Yeah.
But I bet you didn't last night.
No, well, I did sleep, but he woke me up a few times where he's not sleeping, tossing and turning, putting the TV on and stuff.
So what did he get last night? What sort of sleep did he get? A couple of hours or something, or was that about it?
I think he done 2 or 3 hours and then tried to have a kip before, but he's not sleeping. He's got too much going on. He's too nervous and excited, emotional. It's everything at the moment, isn't it?
And of course, you got the kids with you as well. How they got the little boy's only 3, so is he all right? Is he managing to keep still and steady while his dad's playing?
Yeah, well, I took him out there for the first frame and he sat quite nicely, but he was getting a bit fidgety, so I've took him out now. But my daughter loves it. She's sitting there perfect. Yeah. She's lovely.
Now, you've been to a few tournaments before, but of course, there's nothing like this, is the World Final Day. Are you okay?
Yeah, obviously I'm nervous for him, but he's done this. He's come this far, you know. He's done really well, so it's an achievement. He should be proud of what he's done. So yeah, it's he's got nothing to lose now.
Yeah. Now, you were here last year as well, weren't you? And unfortunately, he went out first round to... Who did he lose to in the first round?
He lost to Ken in the first round last year.
He's such a party pooper, that Ken Doherty, isn't he? Listen, we're going to let you go back and watch the rest of the tournament. Keep nice and calm. Your man's doing very well.
OK, thank you. Thanks.
Is Ken still living off that victory last year? Well, obviously this is a very big occasion for the Bingham family, but it's certainly a big occasion for our man in the middle today. It's referee Olivier Martial, who becomes the first man from Belgium ever to officiate in the middle in this Crucible final. And he's the second continental European after Dutchman Jan Verhaest. Now, it's a very important role, but there again, Olivier is used to making important decisions in his other real job.
It is for me the biggest honor and privilege, of course. There wasn't one hair on my head that thought that I would ever referee a world final. I'm a full-time radiology and medical nurse in Belgium, in a small hospital now, in Veurne, a small town called Veurne. In the former hospital, I used to do interventional radiology, which was in fact having surgery without cutting people open. So with catheters and micro catheters going into organs, through the groin, going to the liver, to the bowel, to wherever, even to the brain. It was quite intense, but no, it's a great job, and there's nothing else I would like to do in my life. My love of snooker started in '83, '84. I came home from school one day, and I lived with my grandparents for a while at that time. And my grandfather had seen something on television. And he said, you know, tonight I want to show you something. And it was snooker. And I saw it in the evening session, and I was hooked on the spot. I was in love. I knew after 10 years of play that I wouldn't become a very, very, very good player. I was an average player. But there is a rule in Belgium that says that every club needs to have an official referee, which is in the house rules of the BBSA. And I went to play for a new club. Brand new club, and that guy in the club said, well, Ollie, you're playing for 10 years, maybe you can do, you know, referee exam class 4. And I went, okay, I'll do that for a few cokes, because I'm a coke drinker. And from then on, off it went. And in 2015, I'm reffing the world final. Fairy tale. I don't think I have pressure anymore at work. Because when something happens, like in the night shifts, and I help out, for instance, on the ER, and something happens, we know what to do. So we know, right, this patient has this, and we have to do this, otherwise the patient could die. So it's not pressure, it's just knowledge, and you apply your knowledge. In snooker, it's kind of a build-up. I remember starting in 2005, my first game, I was shaking like a leaf. There were no TV cameras, there was nothing, just two assessors in the crowd. Normally when I go out now in a normal play, I'm not nervous anymore, whoever plays. But I'll be nervous Sunday and Monday, I know that. But it's positive nerves, it's nerves making your adrenaline going in your body. It makes you focus, and it makes you keep your mind on the game, and it's positive for me. Maybe I'm blessed to have a gift. I can do both jobs, I hope, equally as well. I don't know, I'm 45 now, maybe in 5 years I'm gonna look like I'm 70, I don't know. Maybe my body one day will say, that's it, I had it, I have enough. I don't know, but as long as I can do it, I'll carry on. There's no doubt about that.
And Olivier has worked many night shifts to make sure he had enough time off to be here in Sheffield. He's got his family here to support him, his wife Anne, his 9-year-old daughter Manon, and his brother and brother-in-law. A top break of 138 himself, so a pretty good player. And I know he spent some time alone in the arena this morning on the advice of Jan Verhaest, just soaking up the scene and steadying himself for this final. Well, Olivier is remaining at his post, but we've got a changing of the guard in the commentary box now as we welcome Willie Thorne and John Virgo.
Stuart Bingham to break.
Thank you, Hazel. And well, that will really have settled Stuart down, winning the last frame with that superb century break. 4 more frames to be played in this session, just over 1 hour 12 minutes. I never thought this was going to be a slow match, Willie.
Now both players are scoring too well for it to be slow. Obviously you're going to get the occasional frame that may take 20 odd minutes. The first one was quite a long time, but there were some great snookers played from Stuart in that frame. I think it's going to be mainly break building.
Yeah, average frame time 18 minutes. That's about right. And average shot time. Expect Stuart to be a little bit quicker than that, but of course losing the first 3 frames, then he had a little bit more to think about. For Sean, that's about right. But that highest break of Stuart, as I say, will really have settled him down. There's nothing like... Because even though everybody knows you're in the final and obviously you're a great player, but you always feel as though you want to prove it. And when you come out and make that century, it just settles you down and everybody knows that you're in good form. Very attacking safety there from Sean. Left the red to this right corner. If it's straight, it's not much use to Stuart because the black's not available. Neither is the pink. Needs a slight angle. There's just one, but you got to be very accurate with the cueing. Looking at the possibility of a safety. That's where the balls can dictate what shot you play. You'd have taken this red to the right corner, no problem, but black, pink and black tied up. This isn't a plant, is it? Well, he looked at the possibility of plant. He didn't play it, he played another red. Or did he play the cannon? I'd love to see that again. He played the cannon. What a good shot to think of, and unlucky not to be on the black.
Yes, the same happened early on in the match where he sorted a plant out and got it and snooked himself on all balls by the yellow.
I always think the priority in this type of shot, no matter what colour he plays, try and get that cue ball tight to the baulk cushion. Problem, of course, playing the blue can be a blocker in the middle of the table for reds to the corner. So as I say, at the time I thought, is there a plant on? And he looked at it, but as you can see, he can't get through to it. So what he's done, the red to the right of the plant, he's played it half ball to cannon into the plant. And as I say, very unlucky not to finish up on a colour.
Yeah, he must have tried to pot both balls, didn't he? The one he was hitting first, he tried to pot that in the corner. But he's put Sean in a little bit of trouble here. He can play this thin and back into baulk. I think sometimes you can push the boat out a little. There was an easy safety shot there.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, they're both attacking players. I mean, we've just seen a very attacking shot from Stuart playing the plant, but it doesn't look as though Sean's left anything easy. He's had a look at this. It looks mighty thin. Surely he can't play the cut, can he? He can, and he's got it. Now that cue ball comes in and out of the ball, he'll be on the ball colour, and he is. Brave shot.
How difficult is it to be scoring from here, though? Blue, black, pink, all out of commission. He'd love to get on the blue. Not too sure whether the black passes the blue. It may do. Well, it does, John, there. So, he, you know, a couple of shots' time, he could get on the black.
taking a bit of a chance coming down here, but his thought was, as Willie said, feels if he got on this red, you can see his face, he'd like to be on it a little bit straighter. His thought was pot this red, which is near enough occupying the black spot, play a little cannon, be either on blue or black, preferably the black, and get the black on its spot. So it was good forward thinking, but just a couple of millimetres short of perfect position.
Just wondered, John, whether he's going to play the little cut into the corner and play the cannon on the red to the left of it and stay on the black. But decided against it.
Stuart Bingham, 3.
Yeah, he could have been tempted by the red. But shown a nice bit of self-control there. You don't want to be taking too many risks early on. Needs to be competitive in this first session. Like I said, Sean had a bit of self-control. Of course, I meant Stuart. Got a problem here. You can't play safe down the right-hand side of the table, and the left-hand side of the table is very congested, so just trying to drop on a red, but could go wrong if you misjudge it. If he slides in between the two reds, he'll leave one on here. Ooh, just managed to catch it full enough.
There is one available into the middle pocket, but it's very dangerous. He could screw back 2 or 3 inches and have the blue, but that would be leaving reds on into the middle pocket. So that looks a little bit dangerous. Both boys in the studio were talking about, you know, when you're 3-0 behind, you're just delighted to get out of the session no worse than 5-3. Obviously, you could still win the session 5-3, but that's unlikely.
This is a bit weak. Didn't find the baulk cushion. So he's not put Sean under any pressure whatsoever here. Just can't leave Sean Murphy with his hand on the table. You've got to find that baulk cushion. Take nothing away from the pot.
Bravo.
Well, that is a result of results, because he's played into the pink, and all of a sudden he's got the double kiss on the blue and finished absolutely plumb on the 2 reds behind the pink spot there.
Yeah, as Willie said, he was trying to cannon into the pink, believe it or not.
Six.
As you say, he landed nicely on a choice of reds to the right corner, but he didn't feel that that offered him good position, so it's not the easiest chance, this.
And the only reason we know he played to cannon into the pink because pink and black, blue and black are out of play. And the fact that he's just moved the blue slightly off the cushion means he could possibly get onto both here, blue or black, after this next red.
I'm just wondering if the black still goes. It went before, but that blue has been moved slightly off the cushion. He's nicely on this red that's occupying the black spot, but the black doesn't go now. So can he hold for the blue?
10.
Played a full ball cannon on the black. Didn't get it. Only to pot that come off the cushion, kiss the black full ball. He'd have developed the black and been on the blue. I'll be amazed if he decides to play the blue here.
Yellow ball. Sean Murphy 10.
Well, if he's left the red that's near the top cushion and there's a path past the brown, it's a little bit careless from Sean. Because if he'd have covered that, well, he might have to bend it slightly. Using lots of right-hand side, might have to come cushion first. He'd love to catch it thin. And he's made a pretty good job of that. Good shot. But there is just an escape route down the right-hand side of the table now. Sean's got to be careful he doesn't leave a pot on. Where's the cue ball going?
Foul. Stuart Bingham 4.
We didn't have to wait long, John.
Thank you.
So, big shot coming up now for Stuart. Cued it well, kiss on the black is not too bad. It'll leave him slightly hampered, but he's got a pot on the blue.
Great shot. And the two reds that Sean got on a few moments ago, the two reds at the back of that little cluster of 6. If he gets on those nicely, he can get onto the black very quickly after the blue, and that would open everything up.
Yeah, it's a little bit awkward using the spider, but what helps is that he doesn't have to do a lot with the cue ball. Don't miss the blue. Well played. And now, as you say, those two reds are available to the right corner. And now the black is available.
Thank you.
Decent chance, this.
6. Seven.
May have had a little bit of amusement there in the crowd. Stuart Bingham handing the blue to referee Martial and saved him a bit of time.
In potting the black, he's bound to kiss the red just to the right of the black, so he's just got to be able to judge this cannon. Not bad. He'd rather have played it a bit firm, which he did. And I think he can just get past the
40.
black for this red to the left corner. Nicely played. Now it needs to
15.
run on. Put so much into the pot, Willie, didn't he, that he just underhit for good position on the blue.
The fact that yellow's off the spot makes this shot a little bit easier if he wants to play in between yellow and brown, but may come down the other side. That's probably a Vale's better position in between green and brown, which he has done. This red just to the right of the black will pot, but needs that cue ball to travel.
20.
We'll have to play for blue or bought colour here.
Yeah, good solid pot. And this time he's got the perfect angle on the blue.
21.
And he's already eyeing up, potting the blue, stunning to the pink. If he catches a pink full ball, it'll open all the reds up. This could decide if he wins the frame at this visit or not, how the reds break. Got to catch the pink full.
Great shot, excellent shot. And played it steadily as well, knowing that he was going to push a red to the right-hand corner. Deserves to win the frame from that shot now.
$27.
Nice angle on the blue. Doesn't have to be playing cannons now, but needs precise positional play. Just got enough angle to get down for that red near the top cushion. Well, took a risk, but I'll tell you what, it's worked out okay. It was risky. If he misses a cannon, he could have been on nothing.
33.
This is what we all long to play in, and Stuart Bingham for 20 years wanted to play in this wonderful Crucible Theatre with only one table. Today's his
39.
chance. And this is a very, very good performance from Stuart. When he trailed 3-0 up in the players' room, people were suggesting that this session could run away from him. Doesn't look like it's running away from him now.
44.
Sean Murphy went in off to let Stuart in for these.
45.
So 43 points, the lead. 43 remaining. Just the colour needed. Didn't want to be this close to the cushion, but only got to pot this blue. Well played. And as Willie said, after losing the first 3 frames, great response.
50.
And the key thing there was not just birdie in the blue and kind of having to play a safety shot because he wanted to finish this frame at this visit. It was risky the way he played the blue, but played it perfectly.
Yeah, he looks to have had a positive outlook from the outset, particularly when he played the cannon off that red to make the plant. He's not going to hold back.
56.
Okay, he's snookered, but very doubtful Sean will come back to the table. Might do if Stuart was to miss this red. Oh, and he's missed it by a long way.
Foul. Stuart Bingham,
So
56.
that will encourage
Sean Murphy.
Sean to come back to the table. 54 points behind. 35 remaining. That equates to, well, 5 snookers. So, big ask.
Just saw Stuart there point to his head as if it was a silly mistake.
Well, that's how it can get you. Once he's snookered himself and missed the red, he's concerned. But it's long odds Sean winning this frame, and particularly now. Just a recalculation, 4 snookers needed. Where's the cue ball going?
Foul. Stuart
And
Bingham.
I'm certain Sean would have liked to concede, but as I've said many times, it's the etiquette of the game. When it's your opponent's turn at the table, you don't concede. You let him have his chance, but I'm certain Sean will concede after this shot. Could have fooled me. In fact, he has done.
It's not difficult, John, is it really? But I agree with you that looks a little bit thankless, this task. He's got to try and get those snookers. Stewart will be playing this pot as a pot to nothing. Oh. You could see the red, couldn't you?
And that's the problem when you need this many snookers. We all say, oh, 4 snookers needed, 5 snookers needed. But you've got to make it that difficult that your opponent's not going to hit them. And at this level, you've got to make it really tough. Now, Stewart can swerve round the blue, digging down a lot of left-hand side. The only thing he'd be a little bit concerned about, if he caught the red half ball, he could go in off. And that's why he's coming the more difficult way off 2 cushions, but plenty of room round this red. But hit it full in the face.
Another thing about this, OK, Sean Murphy needs 5 snookers, but he doesn't really. He needs about 12 because he's going to hit a vast majority of them. Didn't quite get into the cue ball. That was a good chance getting in behind the pink and the blue.
Thank you.
Leave a bit carefully, he doesn't go in off this red. If he hits it off 1 cushion, that's why he's played it off 2 cushions. Well, no reason why Stewart can't roll this red in the jaws of the pocket. Because Sean Murphy doesn't want to pot the red, he wants it left on the table. Because Sean will be hoping to get a snooker and a free ball, so Stewart pushing the red to the corner. And that green might be handy. Yeah, snookered him. And potting it, as I say, is not what Sean had in mind. And now he's not on a colour.
1.
It's not there. Well, he's looked over to Stewart.
Okay,
that's enough. If it's all right with you. And Stewart, well, like me, probably didn't understand why Sean was playing on. Maybe just to slow him down a bit, because Stuart Bingham now has found a rhythm. He's still 1 behind, though. 3-2.
Well, he's certainly got a foothold in this match now. And Stephen, you were questioning Sean's decision to play on there. What do you think was going on?
I just think Sean is a player that's naturally wants to get on with it, and I just think just get on with the next frame. I don't see the point in doing that, but he may have a reason. He may just want to make Stewart think that, yeah, you're going to have to work for every single frame that you win, but personally I'd like to be just getting on with it for the next frame.
You always did, of course. What's your theory?
1 snooker was enough for me.
What's your theory?
I was a bit surprised as well because Stephen said, like Sean Murphy, you know, he plays an open attacking game. It's not really his forte to play on for 5 snookers. I mean, as Willie said, probably need about 10 or 12 snookers, and you know, because he's going to get out of the majority of them. So yeah, just get on with it and get back on with the next frame.
Willie said that obviously there was a little bit of talk upstairs in the Champions Lounge, and you yourself said you feared it might be running away from Stewart earlier on, but this will give his supporters a lot of confidence out there.
Yeah, not so much it running away from him. I just felt the first session was so important for his ambitions to win the match. But yeah, I mean, he's taken those 2 chances as well. He does score very heavily. I think in one of his matches against Dot, he made 3 or 4 centuries. He made centuries against Trump. So that's the strength of his game, and he looked really good in the last 2 frames. And maybe that's why Sean played on. He thought he was getting a bit of a rhythm here. I'll try and break it up.
Yeah, important to remember, of course, he's got 1-4-5 along with Neil Robertson. It's the high break here of this championship. He's a very competent scorer.
Yeah, he was. He is, I mean, and he's had a few 1-4-7s thrown into the bargain as well. No, he's very capable. I think over the last few seasons, though, I think his whole round game has improved. You know, his safety is very, very good. I think his safety has to be really good against Sean Murphy. You know, he's got to keep that cue ball as tight to the ball cushion as possible, because Sean Murphy's one of his best attributes is his long pot and getting himself in, and he's going to keep going for them. If he can keep him on that back wall, keep him going for them, and try and force a few misses, then get Sean Murphy thinking a little bit better. But when he gets a chance, Stuart Bingham, he can score as heavily as anybody. There's no doubt about that.
Well, it's a huge occasion for this man. Remember, won his first title at the age of 35. He's actually the 4th oldest Crucible finalist in history. He's only 18 days shy of his 39th birthday, and he's certainly in the peak of his form, in the peak of his career at the moment, and it's been great to see him getting through. He's beaten ex-champions Graham Dott and Ronnie O'Sullivan, and perhaps the most dangerous man in snooker right now, Judd Trump, to get here.
And the great thing about it is just looking at his body language. He seems to be very relaxed. He hasn't really twitched too much, maybe in the first round, but he looked very relaxed, Stephen, isn't he?
Yep.
Right we go. A reminder,
Thank
it
you,
was
frame
3-0
6.
for the magician,
Murphy
this
to
man
win.
here, Sean Murphy. It's now 3-2.
It's been a high standard as far as the breakers are concerned. As Sean Murphy breaks off in the 6th frame, there's been a 50 or above in every single frame. The only thing that slightly would worry either opponent is that they're not killing off the frame in one visit at the moment, apart from that one frame where Stuart made a 105. But I always used to say, John, if you could guarantee making a 50 break every frame you played, you would be world champion.
Yep, it's a nice foothold, particularly early on. Stuart left with a tricky safety hit, and he's eyeing up this red to the right corner. It's a tough one if he goes for it. Oh, so close!
And when you're down on the shot, you can tell, John, can't you? When you first, the ball's travelling down, he thinks, oh, I've got that. And then he suddenly can't understand, no, it hasn't got in. Hence the expression.
You saw it there, it just caught the right-hand jaw, just a fraction out, and obviously Sean can see a pot here to the left middle. Good one it is, and he's got a nice angle on the blue. That was always the problem for Stuart Bingham, but because he couldn't see a safety, he was forced into playing that red, just missed it by a fraction, and that has presented Sean Murphy with a great chance.
Six.
Love to have been straight on this red so he could just run through for the black. I think if he runs through plain ball, he would kiss into the red that's just above the black on the left-hand side there. Of course, if you can guarantee hitting that second red half ball, he'll still play to get on the black. If not, it looks like he's playing a little screw shot for position on the pink.
7.
He's a wonderful break, but as both these players are. Sean Murphy has been at the top of his game in this championship. I think it's 11 centuries so far. That's the tournament high break from both of them, 145, 138. And the interesting thing about the breaks, John, there's been 4 breaks above 140 in this tournament. I don't think we've ever had that before.
Yeah, the scoring has been unbelievable. The record is 83 centuries at the championship. We're already on 81. So those who fancied the record being broken this year, they'll be thinking they're on a winner.
14.
the bird's eye view now as we zoom in on the table. Nice angle on the blue. You'd think he'd want to be playing for the black
90.
sooner rather than later.
Thank you. 20.
No need to play any cannons at the moment. Two reds put in the same pocket as the black, so just done off one cushion. I'm sure everybody in this packed Crucible crowd would have been in their clubs and things and tried to play these little
27.
stun shots and screw shots and realise how difficult they are. Break building is definitely an art.
28. $35.
It's a new innovation this year, the sidebar. 68 points is the target, which will leave your opponent
36.
needing a snooker. Well, decided to go into them, and looking at Sean's body language, he's quite happy. I think he's got a red to the left corner. You can always tell when a player gets down pretty
44.
quick, he's happy with the outcome, and now the reds are there, nicely spread at his mercy. It's a frame-winning chance, no doubt.
The high breaks continue.
51.
This time we were trying to obviously win the frame at one visit. His highest break so far has been 68. I think there'll be a few more to come than that here.
52.
Fractionally overscrewed that time. He wanted to be straighter on this red.
58.
But still maybe had a run through for the black.
59.
So there you see it.
66.
Just the red and the colour needed. And
67.
after this black, there'll be two snookers required for Stuart Bingham. Took these really well. He's been frozen out in actual fact the last couple of frames.
74.
But when he's had this opportunity,
75.
taken them very well indeed.
I'm sure when Stuart played the shot to nothing down into the corner pocket, which he thought was a shot to nothing, he got so close and he winced because he thought he'd potted it. He must have thought he wasn't going to lose the frame.
83.
Yeah, and he can't reproach himself because he didn't have a safety. And you could see when he missed it, it's so close. And that's going to be his last shot on this frame. It's a tough school, as we always say.
90.
Yes, he probably didn't realise he was leaving that red in the middle that Sean started this break with. Oh, what a shame. What a shame. The break of 90, though, more than enough to take that frame. He stopped his mini rock. He lost two on the trot. He's now back in ascendancy. He leads by 4 frames to 2.
Yeah, well, it's all about fractions, as we say, and Sean broke off, and we've seen so many times in the championship, Willie, that one red is left out. But of course, this was a tough red, and being close to the cushion, but there was no safety because he was frightened if he played thin he could catch that red, so decided to take it on. How close was this?
But, I mean, how would he have thought that that red would have been available, John, just below the pink? It doesn't look like he can get... He's gone through a gap for 2 reds to get that opening red.
Yeah, and Stuart quite rightly would have been thinking the only red I can leave was the one I was playing, and once he hadn't left that, he'd be going back to his seat thinking that's safe enough, but this red was just available.
If the white had finished 2 inches further to the right or 2 inches further to the left, that wouldn't have been available.
Yeah, but as we say, it's all about fractions. Credit Sean for that good opening red. Nice angle on the blue. And Stuart was sat in his seat for the rest of the frame.
You called it in commas, didn't you? That is the standard of the game these days. If you leave a half a chance, they're going to score 60 or above most of the time.
Thank you. Frame 7. Stuart Bingham to break.
Just short of 1 3/4 hours for the first 6 frames. It's being played now at a nice tempo, but Stuart won't be happy with that. Break off once again. A red left. And these are the type of pots that, well, you really fancy Sean Murphy to pot more likely than miss. Well, he has missed it. Now, what's he left? Plenty. Be disappointed with that, will Sean? He knows that's the type of half chance he needs to be taking. I love it when we get to this stage where we don't have those super slow-mos, and the way the balls bounce off the table, it's frightening.
And he didn't seem to hit it hard, really, did he, that particular shot? Just keep an eye on the red there. It's 6 or 7 inches it jumped in there.
Six.
We've been blessed with some wonderful matches in this year's championship. And unfortunately, I've done the 2 of them. Robertson Hawkins 13-12 was unbelievable, and last night's 17-16, surely
7.
the best semi-final ever.
Just got a slight angle on the blue. Now this red, if he's going to play on it to the right of the cluster, he needs to be on it straight. Well, maybe the red that's just around the pink spot
12.
is available. He won't be playing for the black.
13.
A bit short of pace there. Okay, he's got a red in the other half of the table, but he'd have liked to have had an angle to be coming down towards what is really the business end when you're potting blacks, so you can get to that points required a lot quicker.
$18.
Don't know whether he's got the angle here to play for the blue, but he can just knock the red in and play for the green probably. Well, he felt he could play for the blue. Well, he's overscrewed it.
19.
He's overscrewed it. There you see it. Worst thing, just the wrong side of straight. Obviously, the red at the top of the cluster will go to the left corner. Got to get this, because in playing it, he'll be bringing all the other reds into play. It was a must-get shot.
Stuart Bingham, 22.
Now he's got to be looking, hoping he's got away with it. And the pink may have come to his rescue for the red to the right corner. Just run out of position on the blue and it cost him.
Yeah, the red with the rest was the problem ball, wasn't it? I mean, he just overscrewed it by about 8 or 9 inches, and that made all the difference. Everything else was hard work after that. Didn't expect him to miss that one, though. It was a great, powerful power game to Stewart.
Well, there's a possible thin cut here, but can he avoid the kiss on the second red? No, he didn't think he could, but can he avoid the kiss on the blue? It could have turned out a lot worse, Will.
Absolutely. Whenever you kiss the blue, you expect to leave a pot on. OK, the one that's in the middle of the table just above the pink spot will pot, but it's one of those that you'd have to do plenty with the cue ball because the in-off's on in both pockets. So if you just played it plain ball, you'd go very close to the in-off. It's a very, very easy safety shot off that red. He's taken the pot on, but the key thing was getting a good white at that time.
And that is not a good white. And Sean can now get through to this red to the right corner. He's having a look at the possibility of potting this red and maybe canning the red just to the left of the black, but I don't think that's the shot. I think stun it round the angles for blue or bought colour. Well, so close. And there's not help with position on the colour. If he just misses that bump, he'd have been on a bought colour. Just got a little bit too much screw into that, and that's why he nearly went off in the middle.
Yes, the guaranteed killer to get onto a red would be the pink, but of course that's far too dangerous. It's a case of not only missing the brown on the way down, it's missing the yellow on the way back. I don't know which way he's playing it. He's missed the brown on the way down, but hasn't missed it on the way back.
Six.
Well, that was risky. I know it's great confidence in his potting ability, Willie, but be it me, that was a shot to take on, was it?
Yes, in his pre-match interview, he was saying that I've found a way I want to play now. If it's on there, I'm going to go for it. Stephen Hendry was like that, wasn't he, when he was at his prime?
Sure.
He'd much rather lose a frame off playing a pot than he would do off a poor safety shot. And it seems that Murphy's playing exactly that way.
Yeah, it's a mindset, isn't it? You get one chance and you think, I'm going to win the frame, even if you have to push the balls out.
Of course, what he was expecting, wasn't it, John? He was expecting to screw back in the baulk there and just didn't get into the cue ball.
Well, he didn't hit the red anywhere near the pocket, so he's a lot thinner than expected. Long pot success, very low at the moment from both players. I'll be looking at 66% as being about right. They're both in the 30s. Obviously, too straight on the brown, bit too much angle on the blue. It needs to bounce. He's underhit it.
6.
And he had so much margin of error there, Stuart. He'll be very disappointed. He could have run that cue ball another good foot 18 inches have been choice of reds, so this red not as easy as it should have been. But it's gone in, and the only reason it went in was the speed. Any harder and he wouldn't have done. But he's not out of the woods yet. This is a lot of pressure on this green. Well played. Fully committed. Knew it could cost him the frame should he miss it. Good shot.
$11.
Once again, he's underhit his positional play, and no reason to, because the brown was available and the blue. So having to recover with a deep screw off the green, and he looks to have played this absolutely perfect.
14.
I think the slight problem is, if the black is not available into the right corner, he's got to go back up for the blue.
Yes, there you can see it's not available, and he'd have liked that cue ball to stop 2 inches shorter than it did, then he could have stunned for the black in the opposite corner, but as you can see from this angle, he's virtually dead straight. Not had this cue ball under control in this break. There's his dad, Eddie, with the earpiece on. Your boy's doing well, Eddie. Oh, wife more in there. They must be so proud, as they know I've known Stuart for many, many years, always been a big fan, and he thoroughly deserves to be in this position now. Slightly hampered cueing here, very close to hitting the pink with his sleeve. Where's the yellow going?
Stuart Bingham, 15.
Never had the cue ball under close control, and that's why he didn't score enough. So he's had 2 good chances in this frame. Stuart, will he get another one? Well, Sean, a bit fortunate there, but easy safety for Stuart. Imperative he finds the baulk cushion, of course. So he's got a 31-point lead, but still plenty of snooker left in this frame. Still 75 remaining. He wants it to stop quick behind the green, and it has done. It has done. I'm not certain whether that was as intended, because you always feel that if you don't find the baulk cushion, if you don't get the snooker behind the green, you leave your opponent with his hand on the table. But after the steward's inquiry, the result stands. There's Nicole, the drummer from Iron Maiden, and he's been having a great time here. He's been here the last few days. He just loves it. He loves the drama and the theatre of it. Can't keep him away.
I'm just trying to work out whether he's trying to get into the one just behind the yellow there. That's the one he's trying to get onto. Fabulous. Very, very good.
Yes, and it wasn't a natural. He had to use side on the cue ball to just graze the red. And we know how costly the fouls can be if you start missing balls. Good shot from Stewart, and this time, good length. Okay, he's left a path to this red to the right corner, but it's dead straight. Well, Sean having a look. But this is a very tough shot.
He's just come round to see if the black passed now. Goodness me, how good's he got to hit this to stop the white dead? Is that a result?
Yes, the double kiss certainly helped him there. That's worked out nicely. A little bit dangerous again, I have to say, but the green is blocking the path to the cuttable red to the right middle, and of course, if Sean can't get through to that, then it's not the easiest safety shot.
Well, Stewart stamped his foot on the ground in disgust when he played the shot, John. I can only presume he thought he was going to leave the red sticking over the middle pocket. All that tells me is mistimed the shot and got a good result.
That's a possibility, but he doesn't want to risk it. So you're going to trust the table by playing it slow. Well, he's left the red. The one just below the yellow will pot, but there's no way Stewart will be tempted by it. Well, I say there's no way he'd be tempted. I don't know, Willie. If you played this, if the yellow was available into the opposite corner, then the only red you could leave, really, was the one you was playing.
Yes, he's having a look at that now, John. The yellow does pass the red into the opposite corner. But, of course, at the pace he plays it, the red he's playing would stick in the jaws of the pocket should he miss it.
But he's got to be very careful. He can't, I mean, if he could hit the red that's near the right middle pocket, he'd play safe off that. There you see, the yellow does go.
He may have to come back to play that choice of yours, John, because as he plays the swerve, can he see enough of this red to hit it? He thinks so. He thinks so, and played it very nicely indeed.
Yeah, I didn't think he could get through to that. Well, he couldn't without bending the cue ball slightly. He's not going to gain any great advantage from that shot, but safe enough.
Got to be a little bit careful here, maybe push a red towards the corner. played in such a way, though, he's bringing it into the middle of the table, which means it's more difficult to pot. But what a wonderful safety shot he's played there. And the safety success there, and Sean's 3% better at the moment, but in the last couple of frames we've commented on, Bingham's safety has been superb.
Still low though, should be in the high 80s at least. Now he's left Stuart a chance here. The green will make it just slightly awkward, Kieran, because he'd like to put his bridge hand where the green is. But this red is definitely on. Oh, I thought he was going to get away with it there for a moment. Don't think he has. That was a chance. He's had 3 decent chances in this frame, Stuart, not made the most of them.
One.
Well, that's not worked out. Nice for Sean. And with this red being near the right corner, he needs a good safety or a very good pot. And I can't see an easy ball that he can go for. Just screwing back. I mean, if it was a fraction harder, the black would have been available into the right middle, but it's not. Is he playing the cut on the blue, do you think, Will?
Well, he's looking at it, but why not just run through the black and leave the white in the jaws of the green pocket? I mean, this blue is potable maybe 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10. You know, it's... The percentage wasn't in his favour there. I know he's the way he plays, and I totally agree with the way he plays. He's just a wonderful potter. But why not just run through the black and leave the white in the jaws of the green pocket, and there's no problem.
So nicely on this red. And he's got a 30-point lead at the moment. Now needs an angle on the brown.
One.
That's okay. What he's got to do in playing the brown here, he's just got to avoid this red that's tight to the top cushion. He's looking at the blue, but I don't think blue's an option because he'd have to use the rest. He couldn't stretch over the pink. Just got to avoid this kiss on the red tight to the top cushion. If he does that, he'll be nicely on the red just above the yellow. 31 points in front, 59 remaining. You're looking at 3 there. The only reason he can be thinking of the blue, he wants it on its spot, but for me, it's too much of a stretch. So just avoid the cannon on the red near the top cushion. And that looks perfect. Well played.
5.
Quick glance at the scoreboard, 35 points to lead, 59 remaining. 2 reds, 2 colours would be enough, but we know they're awkward. That's why he was thinking, oh, slow down, slow down. Well, he'll be disappointed with that. Under-hitting, over-hitting, just not got that cue ball under good control, will he?
Yes, he realises this is a massive frame because if Sean wins, obviously, he knows he's going to be behind going into tonight's session. But an excellent recovery again. Excellent recovery. He's potted some balls. He's needed 3 chances, but boy, when he's lost positions, he keeps knocking them in.
Off this red, green, brown or blue would be enough.
11.
If he pots the green, he goes 44 points in front with 43 remaining. he'd love to pot the green and get on this red just below the yellow, and then that wouldn't encourage Sean Murphy to come back to the table. But unintentional kiss on the brown. There's a chance of laying a nice
40.
snooker here. There you see it. 44 ahead, 43 remaining. It looks a good lead now.
For Bingham 14.
Yes, as JV always says in commentary, it's not hitting him, it's getting him safe. And if he wants to get this safe, he's going to have to hit it pretty hard. This white could bounce.
But as I say, the etiquette, once again, you see it, and it's nice to see. We pride ourselves on the etiquette of snooker. Sean would love then to have looked at Stuart and said, you don't have to bother coming to the table, but you don't do it because Stuart's entitled to have a little bit more table time. There was a few chances that needed this frame, well, 4 in fact, and he just never had good control of the cue ball. So this is a chance now to try and get that pace right. Every shot matters, particularly in the final of the World Championship. So 48 ahead, 35 remaining.
4.
He's a bit careless, leaving himself awkward on the green like this. He's left the red on now. Will Sean carry on this time? No, he won't. He not. Few shots Sean Murphy played in that frame, you'd have to question. Stuart Bingham had 4 chances. Eventually runs out and comes to a winner. And now just 1 frame behind with 1 frame to play.
Yes, we got 8 frames this afternoon, we got 9 this evening, and then of course we do it all again 8 and 10 possibly tomorrow evening. So it's a very long way to go, and it's a very interesting point in a final, isn't it? Because you're just really got started, but it's still very intriguing early on.
Yeah, but you don't want to be handing your opponent easy frames by giving them 4 chances of frames, because what happens, and we saw that in the Judd Trump match, is it catches up with you. You know, Sean Murphy looks to be playing the better of the two and cueing the better of the two, but if he's going to keep going for like silly shots and giving his opponent easy openings, and you know, that was a giveaway, that frame for Stuart Bingham.
It's interesting to note though, how large is the contrast between Sean Murphy's long potting today and what we saw in the early stages of the semi-final against Barry Hawkins? Completely different, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's amazing when you take that away from his game, how lesser of a player he looks. Because that's the big power of his game, and that's how he, against Barry Hawkins, that's how he was getting on every frame, from Barry's break or Barry's weak safety shot by potting long balls. You take that out of the equation and he doesn't look the same player.
And it also has possibly the other effect on the other guy, because he's not so frightening without that weapon in the armoury.
Absolutely, you're only giving your opponent that little bit more confidence, and you can tell from Stuart Bingham the way he's playing a little bit more of a conservative approach than Sean Murphy is, because he knows that he's going to get chances if he tries to keep him tight. But Sean Murphy is not going to change his game. That's what's got him here. You know, he's going to keep going for them. But at the same time, there is a fine line that you don't go overboard and you don't give him. You know, I know I keep going on about it, but you don't give him those easy chances. You know, you're playing in a world final. You know, when you have your opponent down, you've got to keep him down. You know.
Sean Murphy's weakness to me was a lot of the time was always his concentration. And I think the scrappy frames, if he's not potting his long balls early, getting in and winning the frames in one visit, and he's involved in these scrappy frames, you see he just starts to get a bit ragged.
OK, well, it's very finely poised now. Just 1 frame between them. We've got 1 more to play this afternoon in this opening session.
Sean Murphy breaking off in that final frame you were talking about, Hazel, and I think Sean Murphy will be so disappointed if he comes out of this session 4-4, having been 3-0 in front. And so one has to give every credit to Stuart Bingham for getting back into this first session. That was the only frame of the match so far. We haven't had a break above 50 in the previous frame. amazing how big those jaws are sometimes when you're trying to get back into balk.
Thank you.
Yeah, the dreaded bump. But he could have left something easy. I know Sean is very good with the rest, but okay, he's got a little bit to do with the cue ball. Both at 100% rest success. Yeah, good pot and played it his side, but not the right side of the blue. So not perfect, but once again. And now you see, tournament rest success, 92% Sean, 89% Stuart.
Yes, Jimmy White undoubtedly was the best rest player in our era, John. I've got to be honest, I think Sean Murphy is by far and away the best player in this era.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that. Obviously, you can see a red that goes to the left corner. And played it nicely.
7.
Maybe a little bit too thin on the blue for ideal position.
He's in a great frame of mind, John, isn't he, Sean? Because I agree with Ken, sometimes there's a fine line whether you think he's pushing the boat out, but he comes back from disappointment so quickly, and all of a sudden now you wouldn't think he'd missed any easy pots, and it just looks like he's going to clear up every time he gets in. Didn't want the kiss on the blue though.
Yeah, so you
9.
had an opportunity to play this red on the right-hand side cushion before, but the problem is with it, and it's the problem now, a little bit too straight. If he just stuns it into play for the black, the cue ball will stay close to the cushion. So screwing back for the blue, or both colour. No, he's really got into that. So you'd think it'd be the yellow now. He's got to try and get on one of those reds above the black now to make this into a possible frame-winning opportunity.
I don't know why he went into him that time.
12.
Well, he certainly cleared the black spot area, and if he's on a red to the right corner and can hold for the black, it's turned out nicely, thank you.
Must be very tight. But with the blue being off its spot, his last shot on the yellow was just a natural two cushion to get on the two reds above the black or the two reds in the middle. I mean, there was 5 reds in open play there. Nobody agrees with the players going in the pack more than me, but that looks a little early.
Sean Murphy, 12.
Yeah, nicely played. Sean, have a look at these two reds below the pink. They're not a plant, but he's just got to be careful that he doesn't knock a red or leave one towards the right corner. I said there wasn't a plant. Well, Stuart having a look at this, and the reason he's having a look at the possibility of a plant, and, well, unlikely. But the red that he's looking at, the first red, is the one he was going to play safe off anyway. But once again, needs a good cue ball. If it misses the brown, it will be. Well, the flick on the brown has not hindered it. Oh, the kiss on the blue once again. And Sean there, for the first time, I saw him getting a little bit frustrated there as he walked back to his seat. A little bit annoyed with that. As well he might. You just see it, he normally doesn't show much expression, Sean, but really annoyed with that. Nice opening pot, nice angle on the blue. Chance to score. Win the frame. Tough, but build up a good lead.
This is, I understand what John's saying about it. It's tough, but there's 5 or 6 loose reds in a couple of moments' time. When he pots this red, the pink's available in all 4 pockets, the black in the top left. So can he score enough to win this frame at this visit?
7.
The sidebar, 65 points is his target now. At the minute he's on 12, he's on 7. So another 58 points from here.
Thank you. 14.
Once again, twixt in between with the cue ball. And you can't keep potting your way out of trouble. You need good, close control, but too far for the pink, short for the blue. Well, it's okay. Fortunate that he
20.
had the potting angle on the pink, that he could just stroke it in and avoid the kiss on the second ball.
That's exactly the same shot to play here through that gap and back up for the pink in the same pocket as the red. Bit risky to play for the black at the, with this shot because all those reds are available at the moment, so he doesn't have to worry about trying to get onto the black. Well, it's just plain ball again.
$21.
And now I can think about getting onto the red next to the black and bringing the black into play. Just a fraction high on this pink.
Well, he was up and out of the shot there. He thought he'd missed this pink. And I've got to be honest with you, so did I.
Not a kick, John, was it? He just put a bit of unwanted on, didn't he?
Yep. Ooh, he'd be mighty relieved. His heart must have missed a few beats then.
28.
But now, in perfect position. He's got the black clear.
Against Judd Trumpian, never lost a session in the semi-final. And never lost a mini-session. He obviously lost the first mini-session here by 3 frames to 1. But it looks like he's coming back now to level at 4-4. Obviously a little bit of work to do yet, only 22 points in front. But you can see the next 3 reds and 3 big colours coming. He'll obviously need a couple more reds to make
35.
sure.
I'm not certain about the availability of 2 reds. I think certainly the one in between the 3 will go to the corner. And of course, in potting this, he'll make the other red available. He's got a 30-point lead now.
42.
3 reds, 3 blacks would do it.
43.
Well, he's a little bit thinner on the black than would you say would be ideal, so he's got to play a little soft screw here to hold for the red. Couldn't have played it better. Could not have played it better. He's got the cue ball under nice control now.
50.
2 reds, 2 colours to level.
Yeah, he's concerned here. He's probably running into the other red, that he doesn't want to do that. So, I mean, it would be absolutely perfect to get onto the black if that red wasn't near the side cushion. So he's playing an alternative colour. It's key to have some sort
51.
of angle on this pink. The red and colour needed after this pink. He'd like to drop right in between these 2 reds on the back cushion. And he's done just that. Needs an angle on one of them, though.
57.
He's got an angle, but you've got to give these shots every due care and attention. Oh, well, it just went off the near jaw. A sharp intake of breath from Stewart. This black to go 53 points in front with just 51 remaining as that red just crawled in. And in goes the black, not clean, but they all count. 53 ahead,
65.
51 remaining. Sean Murphy needs a snooker. And he'll be sat there, as Willie said, a little bit disappointed having opened up a 3-0 lead. He was probably looking for an advantage
65.
after this first
Stuart
session,
Bingham.
but unless he gets the snooker, he won't have one.
Wonderful pot. Wonderful pot. He just pots and balls, this boy.
Yeah, that was a tremendous shot, it really was, and it's the perfect position. Now pot
8.
this red, pot the black, and then play the snooker off the red that's tight to the top cushion.
Yeah, Stuart now knows
9.
he should have been covering that red up to not give Sean Murphy this chance. It's a horrible place to sit, isn't it, when you know that next time you come to the table, John, you're going to be absolutely snookered on all balls.
Yeah, this was the pot.
16.
And this was Stuart's reaction. Well, if it misses the green, this won't be too
Sean
difficult
Murphy,
to
16.
hit. Could have made it more difficult than that. Looks like a one-cushion escape. Obviously, you're going to have to dig down a little bit, but you wouldn't expect to miss this.
He'd love to hit it 2 cushions, wouldn't he? Hit it from behind to leave the cue ball where the white is. Where the red is, I meant, but he's got away with it, played it nicely.
Yeah, if you can't cut the one-cushion escape off, you leave the ball in the middle of the table, leave plenty of room to go around it. Sean missed the trick there.
In the first frame, Stuart Bingham needed a few snookers, nearly got them to get back into the frame. But Bingham will be taking this on, I would imagine, somewhere. Just looking to see if it passes the pink. Whenever you play these shots, you play them as a shot to nothing. You screw them into the side cushion and try and get the cue ball in behind the black. You'd be unlucky not to get the snooker should you miss the pot. Well, he's played to run it in, but still the same scenario with a fabulous pot. That's taken the frame. Great shot. Sean Murphy carrying on, but it's a little bit of a mountain to climb in this frame.
2.
Yes, 3 4-point snookers required at the moment.
Sean Murphy 2.
Not happy with the angle that cue ball came off the cushion. He's staring at the cushion as if he can't understand why it didn't go past the pink.
Trying to get in behind the black, but not close. Stuart May played a cross double here. Green to the right middle. And this green is going close to the corner pocket. Needs a little bounce, and Stuart will be able to cut it in. He'll cut it in anyway, or attempt it.
That, I'm sure, puts the frame beyond any reasonable doubt. 3. A fine performance from Stuart Bingham to get back into this first session, trailing 3-0. Exhibition time. 7. He'll be delighted, so will his parents sitting up there in the balcony. Their son has done well to get back into this session. Congratulations from Sean Murphy. Stuart Bingham had a fabulous break of 65 in that frame, just at the right time. He shares the first session. This match is going to be very close. It's 4-all.
Well, the Bingham family and Stuart indeed himself looking very relaxed and confident out there, and well he should really, because from 3-0 down, just describe this turnaround early on.
Great result at 3-0. Obviously made a great century in the 4th frame, but 3-0 down, he was looking nervous. He was looking, perhaps the occasion was getting the better of him slightly. Whether he was tired or not, we don't know, but the way Sean sort of steamrolled Barry Hawkins in the semi-final, you know, there was sort of one thought, is he going to do the same again? 7-1, 6-2 session. Fabulous result to get 4-4.
And to make a century on the way as well. Again, a huge boost for his confidence out there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you could see him, a big spring in his step walking out there. He felt like, and he must feel that he's won that session, because as Stephen's saying, you know, to get back into the match the way he's done, the way Sean Murphy has started off, and as I said, if you keep getting chances and giving your opponent chances, it's going to come back and haunt you. And Sean Murphy, absolutely devastated he came out of that session.
Yeah, exactly. Can you assess it from his point of view, Stephen?
Absolutely. Well, Hawkins didn't really put Murphy under any pressure the first session and second session, so he's able just to play his own, dictate everything, go for his long balls, not even under any pressure getting them. But so that obviously relaxed him. You know, that'll be an annoyance for Sean Murphy. Speaking from a personal point of view, every session's important. Although it's just the first session of 4, but you know you can really stamp your authority in a match early, and that's a chance missed for Sean.
You know, when you look at the players he's faced, Robin Hull, Joe Perry, Anthony McGill, Barry Hawkins, Sean Murphy, it was really McGill who took him closest, really. He stuck with him the longest, didn't he? And that was not a runaway. But it hasn't been like that for most of this championship for Sean. He's been the one dictating.
Yeah, he's had his own way, you know, and, you know, but he's been playing superbly well, you know, been knocking in the breaks, knocking in the long balls, and you have to keep at it. It's like whatever's gone before is in the past. Now it's a new match, and as Stephen says, when you have the opportunity to stamp your authority on the match, you try and do that at every possibility or opportunity. And if you don't, you know, sometimes it can come back to bite you.
And Stuart's winning the majority of the scrappy frames as well, which is a big thing for Sean. It was a big thing for me as well. It was a weakness I had in losing concentration in the scrappy frames and almost losing interest in them when you just want to be potting balls and making big breaks.
What do you think this session tells us about what we're going to expect in the next 3?
I think more of the same, but I think, you know, the first session you're always trying to find your feet, aren't you, and settle into the match. And sure, it'll be more pleased because he looked a little bit nervous in the opening few exchanges, but as the match and as the session went on, he looked more the confident of the two, didn't he?
The way Sean won the semi-final, the way he played against Hawkins, that little session there would have put a little bit of doubt in his mind.
You think so?
Yeah, because he wasn't able to dominate, and his long potting was nowhere near what it was against Barry Hawkins. The first 3 frames he looked comfortable again, but didn't win frames in one visit. So yeah, it'll put a little bit of worry on him.
And obviously it's a pretty quick turner, and they're back on this table at 7 o'clock tonight. What did you do in between frames? What's their time to do realistically?
Just get back, relax, get into your own room and try and avoid the crowds and avoid even family and friends and that. Just get back, relax, get something to eat and just get ready for tonight.
And appreciate there's an awfully long way to go in this final. This has just been the first act in effect. But thank you very much for this afternoon, gentlemen. I know that you'll be on commentary and you'll be in analysis duty at the touchscreen tonight, won't you?
Yeah, okay. Practice room.
Yeah, get those buttons going. All right.
Please, no demos.
Well, thank you very much for your company for Act 1 of what is a 4-part drama here at the Crucible over the next couple of days. A short break for us. We're back in the same seats again at 7 o'clock. Join us then.